Okay, crazy thing happened. I was just filming this video, and somehow I just I don't know what happened. I accidentally clicked something that I didn't mean to click, and I lost the whole video. So here goes again. Take two. Greetings, brothers and sisters. Hello and welcome back to Eva's House of Spirit. I'm Eva, and this is the second part of the 77 Question Witchy Community Tag, questions 21 through 40. When I did the first part of this tag, I forgot a question, so I'm going to start that one as question 21. Though my numbering is going to be a little screwed up because I kind of messed up on the questions in that way. I forgot one, and so the numbering is going to be a little different. Please just, bear with me, forgive me. At least all the questions are getting answered, so this counts, right? That said, let's get into the tag. Let me start answering these questions because I don't want this video to run too long, so I'm going to try to be like real concise. Also, I typed up my answers, so if I look like I'm reading in certain parts, it's because I'm reading the concise answers that I've typed out so that I don't take up more time than I want to take. So, that said, let's get started. Question 21. If you have a familiar, did you choose them or did they choose you? I would say that Nyx chose me. She was not expected. I didn't go out and go to a pet shop or a shelter or anything like that to go get her. She was just wandering around my backyard, unbeknownst to me. My neighbor came and rang my doorbell and told me, hey, there's a solitary lone little kitten, all black in your backyard, and it ran into your shed. They didn't even know if it was a girl. I found that out later. They're like, it ran into your shed. We're so worried about it. We don't want like a hawk or something to get it. Can you go see what's, up with that? We don't want to run in your shed. It's not our property. So I said, oh, thank you. So my husband and I, we went into the shed and, we got her, and we also looked around. We were looking all through the shed. We found no signs of other cats, no mama cat, no sibling kittens, nothing. So we were like, okay, well, you clearly cannot be all alone like this. She had no collar around her neck. This was not a domestic cat. This was a kitten that was just a few weeks old. So we just, we took her home, and she sort of connected with me very much. At one point, she was literally jumping into her water bowl, trying to get past the water bowl, like to get over to me. I don't know too many cats that will jump into water to get to people, because she wanted to just be with me. She wanted me to hold her. She wanted just to be with me. So, from that moment on, I just kind of knew. I was like, oh my God, this is my little baby. And, she likes my husband, but she just has a certain connection with me. So I think Nixie kind of chose me. I feel like the universe sort of brought her into my life because, she was meant to be mine, and I feel that she really wanted me too. So I didn't choose Nix. Question 22, what item can you not witch without? Being that the keyword here is item, I'm going to take that to mean object. There's no object that I can't witch without. If I don't have a particular thing, I will just find something else to do the same thing with, or I will adapt my approach so that I can achieve what I'm aiming to do by some other means. Question 23, what is your favorite sabbat or time of year ritual? Hands down, Samhain. It's just, I love it. I can't get enough of it. I love it. It's my favorite. I love so much when Samhain comes around. It's just, I can't even explain it. I just love it. I love it. It fills me up with such a good feeling. Question 24. Have you ever had a YouTube burnout? Not yet, but there are periods where I may fall silent for a bit and not make any videos if I have nothing in particular to say. I don't like to just kind of make videos for the sake of making videos. When I make a video, I try to have something to say, something of validity to say, or something to share that is worth sharing. I don't know, it's just the way I am. I don't like to just kind of sit in front of a camera and go blah, 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 blah with nothing, substance to say. I try to have a point. I try to bring forward something that I think maybe others may be interested in hearing about, or maybe something that may spark others to think, or something that may enrich the lives of others, or maybe start just an open dialogue that can maybe lead to some interesting progression or something like that. Yeah, I don't like to just spout off for no reason. So if I fall silent, it's not that I'm ignoring all of you. It's not that I don't care about my channel. I just like to make videos when I feel that I have something of substance to bring forward. And by the way, even when I'm not making videos, I hope you all realize that there are so many videos on my channel. I have a lot of playlists, and I have a lot of, a good amount of videos in my, uploads. If you go and look through those, if you're bored and you kind of I want to hear from you, but you don't have anything new out, well, check out some of the other stuff I have on the channel. I have playlists for my videos for Witches in the Moon for seasons 3 and 4, and we're currently in season 4, by the way, so that's constantly being updated, added to. And I have videos for the biophilic alternative, and I have a lot of past videos that you may find interesting. So if you're subscribed to me, don't just check out what's on the what to watch page. I mean, that's a great place to, find stuff to watch, but if you're really interested in the kinds of things that I bring forth, go to my channel page and click on videos and look through my videos, because there's a lot of stuff in there that if you don't look back, they may not pop up in your what to watch, So just saying, what else? Question 25. What is your favorite witchy shop, and do they have an online store? I don't have any witchy shops in my area where I live now. Where I used to live, there were 2. One ended up moving. The other, I believe it's still there, but that's 40 minutes away from me, so that's not really practical for me. As far as I know, I don't believe that they have an online store, that shop that is 40 minutes away. But where I live now, what I do is I buy what I need wherever I can find it, and you'd be surprised what you can find where. Sometimes stores that are not at all witchy, things like, Walmart or, ShopRite or wherever, you can find things that totally would suit your needs. But sometimes, when I really want a particular thing that I can't just, go to a local store to find, any old local store, I'll, sometimes go to Azure Green for witchy things. I like their service a lot. They're really good people. Once I placed an order, and it included a deck of cards, and the cards were not in the order when it arrived, and I just called them up and told them, hey, the cards I ordered weren't here. They were nice enough to just send them along. They weren't giving me a hard time or anything like that. I really respect that. I like their prices. They have really good prices. A lot of times if you buy a certain amount of a given thing, the price will even drop for each individual thing in that bulk of things that you have bought, because they kind of sell sort of like a wholesale price, I guess you could say. Let's say if you're buying candles, sometimes they say, well, if you buy 5 or more, the price drops to this, or if you buy such and such, the price drops to this. So it's pretty cool in that way. But Azure Green is not the only online witchy shop that I will go to. I will go to other shops that, sell witchy sorts of things as well. But often when I'm shopping around, Azure Green will be my first stop in, seeing what's available before I start kind of looking around elsewhere to kind of compare and decide where I want to buy from. But I do often buy from Azure Green. I really do like them. 26. Question 26. When buying witchy items, do they choose you or do you choose them? Maybe it's a little bit of both. I buy what I am drawn to, and I think maybe we are drawn to what is meant for us. So maybe the items that I choose kind of call out to me as well. So it's kind of like a little bit of both. I'm drawn to it because it's calling to me. Question 27, how do you organize your herbs and ingredients? I honestly don't organize my herbs and ingredients very much. I have general areas where I keep them, but I'm a messy sort of creative person. So when I'm doing something, things tend to get strewn about or mixed up a bit. But I don't tend to fight the process too much. I'm content enough when things are in their generally designated areas. Gotta scroll down. Hold on. Oh, wait, I scrolled down too far. Shoot, sorry. Give me a second, folks. I'm not trying to be difficult here. Okay. You know what? Let me expand this little window too. So, all right. Damn it. I can't seem to like... Hold on one second. Okay. Sorry, I had to get it like just right so I could see everything. Question 28. Do you have interest in other deities that you don't work with? And if so, which ones? I do have interest in other deities, generally speaking, as well as other powers, other higher powers. One particular group of higher powers or higher entities that I would like to learn more about, one group that most readily springs to mind, are the Loas. These are not the only higher beings that I don't work with that I have interest in, but they are the ones that are most in the fore of my mind at this time. Question 29. Do you have a favorite time of day when you do spell work? Night. Night is my favorite time to do spell work, honestly. I just feel more awake and alive at night. It's just a time that resonates with me very much. Question 30. Are you solitary or do you work in a coven? I am solitary. Question 31. If you could pick a certain witchcraft tradition that suits your practice most, what would it be? Druid, Celtic, or Wicca? None of these traditions particularly suit me, but if I had to choose one of these three, I would maybe choose Wicca, as that tradition tends to be the most open to variation. Even within the structure of Wicca, there is a good amount of room, as far as I understand, for an individual to practice his or her own unique way. But regardless, I am not a Wiccan. I am a Chaos Pathwalker, which is my way of saying I am a Chaos Magician. Question 32. What was the most creative spell you've ever done, and what did you use? One that comes to mind is I had someone actually come to me. They were like, I need you to help me. There's someone at my job who's a rival, and they're like catching up to me, and I need to like chill that out. So I advised them a spell that I will not really give the details of here, but it involved using a glue trap for catching mice. It involved a glue trap. I was like, yeah, use the glue trap. They won't be able to, progress if you use the glue trap. They won't move beyond you, It will kind of stick them in place a little bit so that they cannot surpass you and better you at your place of work. And I know some people may be jumping up and down right now going, oh my God, that's so wrong. Work is competitive. Whether you do spells for work, competition situations or not is a whole nother question. But you know what, let's face it, people do things at work every day to try and get the leg up on their competition. So don't judge, please. That said, and nobody was being hurt. This person was not injured or anything. It wasn't like a curse. It was just something to like stop them from progressing past the person that was asking me for help, because they were like, I need to be able to continue on my upward trend and keep doing really well. I need to keep being the best that I can. This person is catching up to me in terms of, success, and they're like, I can't have that. I need to really be able to maintain and hold my position, because if they knock me out of this, I'm in trouble. I don't see anything wrong with that. If you're not harming the individual, you're just, you know, maybe slowing them down a bit or something, that's fine. I don't see that as like, oh my God, so detrimental, because that person still has their job. That person was still getting paid, even if maybe they didn't surpass the person that came to me for a spell. They were still getting paid really well. It's not like they had any kind of a problem, you know what I'm saying? So I don't see that as a bad thing. Question 33. What do you prefer for divination, tarot, oracle, runes, etc., and why? I would have to say tarot. I'm a natural scryer, and the imagery on the cards speak volumes to me. Personally, I take to tarot like a fish takes to water. Question 34. What are some ways you keep yourself grounded? There are many things that I do when I'm feeling a little frazzled, or to prevent myself from feeling all kinds of like with energies and just not feeling well. Being sure that I have enough sleep is something that's very important to me. The more well rested I am, the more I can be efficient at not just my mundane life, but also my magical life. And it just helps to keep me in a good place, mentally, spiritually, energetically. So yeah, sleep. Sleep is very important. I also make lists or write to organize my thoughts and stay focused. That helps me. Another thing I do is working in the garden if it's a season that permits that. Working close to the earth like that, it is a really grounding experience. It's calming. It's very centering. It's sort of like a meditation in action. Where was I? In colder months, I sometimes find that cooking, baking, tending a fire, or doing other domestic tasks can really center me. I also enjoy a nice bath or a meditation to bring me to a peaceful place from time to time. And sometimes just having a cup of coffee is akin to being hugged by divinity. Question 35. Have you ever had a spell go horribly wrong? Yes, I think many of us have. But sometimes the unexpected outcomes that I've had weren't bad per se. Sometimes they were just not what I expected, and yet the results that I would get in those times that I would get unexpected results, often they were what I needed as opposed to being what I wanted. Question 36. What are your opinions on initiation rituals? Personally, I think they're nice, but I don't think they're always necessary. I think whether they are necessary or relevant depends upon the path itself, as well as the person, involved, the individual that is seeking that initiation. That's what, I think those two things, whether it's a path that requires initiation, because some do, some it's like there's just, whether you're initiated or not, like it's the initiation in certain paths. If you don't have it, you will not be taught certain things. There's the initiation and also the person too. Like some people may not feel that initiation is a big thing for them. Some paths it's optional, and some people choose to go for the initiation, some people don't. It all depends. Question 37. Have you ever had full contact with your deity, and if so, what happened? I'm just going to say, define full contact. Question 38. What about you is unwitchy? I don't know that it's possible to separate parts of ourselves from other parts of ourselves. For me, being a witch is a 24/7 thing. It is who I am. It's not like I can hang up my hat and not be a witch after a set period of time. It's not like working a 9 to 5. I feel that being a witch is something that encompasses the whole of a person. So there really are no parts of me that are unwitchy per se. Question 39. For the dating witch, how do you tell a new love interest that you are a witch? I just feel that honesty is paramount. Of course, maybe use tact in the way that you say it. Don't scare the shit out of them by using terms that to somebody that might not also be like-minded might sound scary. Try to word it in a way that it's, a little okay, But I will say that when the time came for me to tell the man who I eventually married, the man that is my husband today, when it was time for me to tell him, I told him early on, like not necessarily, I didn't tell him on the first date, but I told him within the first few dates. I think if I'm remembering correctly, I just kind of said something like, well, there's something about me I think you should know. And I said, well, I'm a witch. Surprisingly, he actually wasn't freaked out. He just turned to me and he's like, you're not the first person I've ever been with who was a witch. So he's like, don't worry about it, you know? He is not actually, he doesn't identify as a witch. He doesn't call himself a witch. He's pagan. That's how he identifies. He doesn't do spell work or anything like that. He is very much, though, in tune with the seasons, life, things like that. But he's not like one to do rituals and spells and all that. But he's very, he's respectful and supportive of the things I do. He doesn't give me shit for being who I am or for believing as I do the things that I do. Question 40. Who is a past witch that inspired you, whether famous or not? Technically, she was more of a spiritualist, but from what I understand, she was also a folk healer, and she likely did many of the same sorts of things that witches do, um, particularly as positive communal figures. So I would have to say that my maternal grandfather's grandmother inspires me. I have never met her. Because she passed well before my time, but I would very much like to take up the torch of helping and healing and guiding as she did. I think it's just such an amazing and productive thing to not just help one's self, but also to be of benefit to one's fellow man.